understand this is quite a successful tournament.
Yep.
As an organizer, what are your reflections on the organization of this tournament?
Okay, one thing I like to say is that we've come a long way. From those days where we used to have so many participants coming in, and then there was a decline because of so many factors. Primarily, you got new sports coming into the scene. People are spoiled for choices. And then the other thing is, on our part, we need to be more aggressive because we realized that competition was coming in a matter of sense, and therefore there was a decline. So what we have done is we started picking things up, all right, and particularly the time period I want to highlight is from 2005 onwards, where we started to put our attention on junior development. And so in this particular event, we noticed there were like 60 to 70% of juniors participating in the whole tournament, and that's a big leap to what we have been experiencing so far.
I know it's been a really long day. What would you like to tell all the champions of all the different categories that you want to see?
Okay, this tournament it's really very, how would you put it, very unusual, because we expected a lot of our previous champions to come again to to take the title championship here and there. There were some upsets, and though we were quite surprised by the events that took place, we are quite happy that many of those upsets were actually done by juniors. So which means that the sport is growing very strongly. I want to congratulate them. It was really a hard tournament for them because many of the tournaments went into 5 sectors. You could see them really pushing themselves very hard, some of them to the verge of getting cramps. So what I like to say to them is, well done. There are more challenges ahead because we've got more younger juniors coming into the scene, and it's going to be a real challenge to maintain their position.
How do you intend to maintain the momentum of growing squash in Singapore?
We must not rest on our laurels. So basically, we have to continue to reach out to the schools, and that's why we try to introduce modified sports like mini squash to primary schools, getting the kids to be aware that squash is in the scene. And one thing we also realize that because we lack a lot of publicity, people are not aware that squash is actually quite active. We have begun to inform schools of their achievement at our tournaments. So there is some awareness going on around. We have sent out posters, which we have traditionally done so. But what we have stopped, or rather what we have not gone further, was to reach out to non-squash playing schools. So we have started doing that as well. And so that, there are kids who come from non-squash playing schools and are already playing squash. So at least, their peers will come to know about squash, and then at least the awareness will start growing at that level.
I'm sure you'd like to thank the people who made this possible. What would you like to say to them?
Yeah. This particular tournament was sponsored by Masonry Private Limited. Now, they are primarily a construction-based company. They deal with granite stones and all, but they have a very keen interest in the sport. Primarily because the directors' children are also involved in the game. I mean, they have been exposed to other sports, but finally they chose squash. So that is, I guess we are fortunate to have that going for us. And the fact is that they have been sponsoring us for 4 or 5 years now, which means that there is a strong support. They have in fact increased their sponsorship for this year. And that has transcended down to the fact that the more categories are receiving prize money, as opposed to previous years where we limited to the adults and so on. So many of the players were quite pleasantly surprised that they were actually getting some prize money along the way. And it's a form of a minor incentive because of the effort that they have put in. They come all the way from the 4 corners of the island to participate in tournaments every night, every afternoon, sacrificing their social time. So it's just a token of our appreciation for their commitment. So I'd like to thank them, and I also like to thank a couple of new sponsors who have come into the scene. Perry Ocean have been supporting us for all our major events, with mineral water and so on. And Dunlop, Optimus the company that is distributing Dunlop squash balls. They've been gracious enough to give us squash balls not only for our event but for the association for training and purpose. And there are two new companies that have actually started supporting us in a very modest way with prizes and so on, but they are quite keen to come in more strongly when the demand is there. So we are quite happy to mention their names here.
One last question. What would you like to say to all squash fans out there in Singapore?
Okay, now the sport needs everybody's help. It's not just growing the sport from the association level or the club level. Everyone can play a part. And what I like to ask all squash fans out there is to come in, pitch in, help whatever way you can. Talk to your friends about the sport. Play the game. With growing awareness, growing demand, there will be more facilities built. Okay, one of the main reasons why a lot of squash facilities are taken down is because there is no real demand. But apparently there has been some increase over the years, about 20% increase of squash facilities usage. Now this increase also can be seen from our expat friends. They come to Singapore, they play the game, and they start booking squash courts all over the place. So what my appeal to them is basically come in, get involved. Right? The game needs your support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.